Hello, everybody. This is Steve O'Reilly and Gail Saunders with Skinnypost TV, and in today's prediction show, we talk about the AFC West, the battle between the Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, and the Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders.
Who do you like in that division at the end of the season coming out on top?
I mean, initially in your subconscious, you think Denver Broncos, but my internal insides are telling me to go with the San Diego Chargers. Rivers had an off year last year. He didn't have a River-like season last year. And I think they had some issues with Jackson, just some chemistry issues with him coming in late. But I just think this year they're going to have a softer schedule than the Broncos. I think they're going to pull it all together this year, and hopefully Ryan Matthews, from what everyone's been saying, he's killing in camp. I thought he was going to be my breakout player last year. You know, he had flashes, but I think this season it could be a breakout year for him. And let's talk about the Broncos. The Broncos, their schedule is ridiculous. Those first 6 games, you got the Steelers. Who you got? You got the Falcons, the Texans, the Chargers. You got the Raiders. You got the Patriots. You got the Saints. That's a tough schedule, especially Peyton Manning was out for a whole year. You're throwing him into the fire early, and it's not. I'm not taking anything away from Peyton Manning because that guy is all world, and I think he's going to do amazing things. It's just a lot thrown at him the first 6-7 weeks. He's going to have a bye in there, but hopefully, he's ready to go and their team's 6-0. But I just think, they brought in a lot of different pieces. And just like any other team, when you bring in too many pieces right away, it takes a little time to gel. So they could be on top, or they could be on the bottom, or halfway there. But I don't know. Who you picking to win the division, Mr. O'Reilly?
I toiled with this because I've always said it's a quarterback-driven league. And I think that Peyton Manning has so much to prove, not only to himself, but I think he also wants to show the rest of the NFL world that he's still one of the elite quarterbacks in this game. And I know from following the Broncos closely that he's put in a ton of time. He's done everything he needs to do. He's the first one at practice every day. He's working out. He's doing what he has to do. But as you alluded to, Denver has a very tough schedule to start. And they're going to be without DJ Williams for the first 6 games due to a suspension. Elvis Dumervil was in some legal trouble as well, and that is still pending. But Goodell may also suspend him if he wants to, because Goodell does whatever he wants. So, those are 2 huge pieces to the Bronco defense, especially if you're talking about, all the great passing teams they have to face. I don't know. I really don't. I think the Broncos have a good chance of winning the division because I think that it's going to be close. So I'm going to say Denver with about a 9-7 record. I think they can get to 9-7, maybe 10-6, and win that division. San Diego has a lot of great pieces they brought in. I like the fact they got Royal, Robert Beacham, and I really think LaRon McClain is going to be a huge addition for them out of the backfield because he can run the ball and he can do some things, as a fullback blocking. And as you alluded to, Ryan Matthews is huge for them. But how much will the loss of Vincent Jackson affect them? How will those pieces on defense? I mean, they need some guys on that defensive side of the ball to step up and create pressure and get after the quarterback. Phillips, the linebacker there, he can't do it on his own. They really need some guys to step up and help out there. The Kansas City Chiefs are another team that's very intriguing. We don't really know what's going on with Dwayne Bowe right now, but Peyton Hillis and Jamal Charles and Eric Berry, last year none of them were really there. Even though Charles and Berry were on the roster, they were injured.
Well, don't forget Moyaki either.
They really loaded up. So, it depends on Matt Castle and can he carry the load? Because the Chiefs are going to be able to run the ball with those horses they have in the backfield, McCluster and all that talent. And I still don't count the Raiders out either. I think Carson Palmer is going to be a little bit more relaxed and comfortable in that environment. Darren McFadden is back. And Darren McFadden is getting better and better every year. This guy in camp, everything I've heard, is just amazing right now. He's fully healthy. He's fast, strong, and he fits the bill. That defense is solid. So it just comes down to quarterbacks. At the end of the day, who do you think is going to raise their level of play up? And I think the Broncos are going to step up their level of play across the board just because of Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning is going to raise the level of the team on both sides of the ball. Champ Bailey realizes that he's not getting any younger. It's, now or never, so to speak, in the next couple of years for these guys to get together and win a ring. Willis McGahee has noted that Peyton has raised everyone's level of play because you don't want to be the guy that lets him down in that huddle. He's got the receivers, Decker, Thomas. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of tight ends. They brought in a lot of pieces, as you said. It may take a little time to gel, but I think Denver will win the AFC West with a 10-6 record at the end of the year. And look for their home games to be extremely important in that drive because that schedule is tough. So when you have those tough games, you've got to win the tough games at home. That'll be the key.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs. That's an interesting team there, right there. I think last season you saw when they brought in Cornell, those players played for him, and they turned it around. Now, could it be different this season from the get-go? Plus, you have Jamal Charles. He is hungry and ready to play. I mean, this is a guy that was running all over the league just about 2 years ago. Team him up with a guy like Peyton Hillis, who was the Madden cover boy, and the Browns tried to play him out like he was, a head case. He's got a lot to prove. He's going to be running angry, and he's going to be hurdling folks just because. The question mark is, Bo. Hopefully he'll come into camp. It doesn't make sense for him. They offer him a $9.5 million franchise tag. So I mean, he doesn't really have any leverage, but hopefully he gets into camp because he's a big key piece to what they like to do in the passing game. Tony Moeaki was hurt most of last year, so I mean the guys that are injured are now going to be back and healthy. Hopefully the defense plays up to standards. I mean it's going to be tough to compete in the Kansas City defense. Hopefully they come to the table this year and hold down. Kansas City defense. Hopefully they can hold down the fort this year, but it's gonna be tough. And then we have Oakland Raiders. As much as you alluded to, Darren McFadden was all world last year. Can he be all healthy for one season? I mean, it was a foot injury he had, his toes last season.
Yeah, I mean he before he got hurt though.
Oh, I'm serious. The league.
He was the scariest guy when he would get that pitch left. Running downhill, he's just so fast and he's strong. He's just so good. So you're right. With him in the ball game, it changes everything for the Raiders. And the Raiders lost a lot of games they should have won.
Well, also when they brought Palmer in, they had a decent record. I think it was they threw too much. They threw the hits and sink at Palmer. He went into an offense that he wasn't sure. He didn't know what exactly he was doing. He was coming from the Bengals. He was in a system that he knew, and he was comfortable. You put him in a situation where he barely knew the playbook. When they first brought him in there, he looked like he didn't know the playbook. He looked like he didn't know his receivers. So I put a lot of blame on the coaching staff for putting him in that situation, and plus giving up all that for him. They should have done that in this offseason. But I just think this year could be different. They don't have to rely too much on Palmer toting the whole offense. You have McFadden to carry the rock for you. He could hold down the offense. You don't have to rely so much on Palmer being the man. That might help him, and hopefully he doesn't throw as many interceptions in a short amount of time. So
it's going to be very interesting. The AFC West got a lot better. You know, it's definitely gotten a lot tighter. I think every game's going to matter, especially when they play each other. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, everyone wants to see how Peyton Manning responds to being out a year, and
can't wait.
It'll be exciting to see. I'm going with the Broncos. Gail's going with the Chargers. We'll see how it shakes out at the end of the season. Well, that's our AFC West predictions. For Skinnypost TV, I'm Steve O'Reilly. That's Gail Saunders, and we're giving you the Skinny 24/7.